Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Dom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. How we doing? How we feeling? How we chilling? Today is October 28th, 2024. We are approaching Halloween season, my friends. We are rapidly approaching Halloween season, which is actually fucking nuts. But regardless, let's talk. Let's get into it. So, like I said, this is episode 197. I'm your host, Zom Slays, and welcome on in, my friends. It's Halloween week. Let's fucking go. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Pretty stacked show for you guys this week. A couple things coming up. Weekly recap jazz we're gonna go over. A couple other small things we'll go over. I have a quick discussion segment that we're gonna kind of dive into, and then we'll get into some reactions and reviews. You guys know the drill. So, with that said, let's get started. So, first up, let's go through some weekly recap jazz, and let's talk about what happened at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so. Let's get into it. All right, so many of you guys know Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are still in stock. We have a very low supply right now. We still have smalls, mediums, and larges. Definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us an email if that's something that interests you. They're going for $20, free shipping as well. So definitely let us know if that's something that you have on your mind, and you'll see some promo going up before the end of the year. You guys have been hearing me talk about that on the show for quite some time now, but that's more of like an end of the year kind of thing, you know. So that's always available though. Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are still in stock right now, so definitely get yours while supplies last. So per usual, following the show, every Tuesday we roll into the day with Music Mondays early access Patreon content. So if you're a member of our Music Mondays Patreon, you gain access to pretty much everything before it drops. All articles, episodes, content, playlists, pretty much everything. So again, early access Patreon content is available right now on our Patreon, and that drops every single Tuesday following the live show. Like I said, we usually drop the full quality version of the show for anybody to record or clip or download or do whatever they see fit with it, right? So that's available right now. So definitely go check that out, and huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patreons. You guys are awesome. So that was Tuesday, and then of course, as you guys know, submissions open for the Music Mondays podcast every single Tuesday. So per usual, as a friendly reminder, if you're watching this live, submissions open tomorrow for episode 198. So make sure you get your tracks in. So heading into Wednesday, we drop SoundCloud Sunday submissions as well. So again, if you're interested in getting on the SoundCloud Sunday playlist, definitely hit up our curators, drop your links, and make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date when those submissions go live as well. So that's Wednesday, and then Thursday we hop into the Music Mondays podcast again. So the Music Mondays podcast episode 196 is available on all audio platforms. That's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz. So definitely go check those out and go show that some love. Again, that's for everybody who misses the live show here on Monday and doesn't really want to watch it back on Twitch. You can go watch it back wherever you prefer, right? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz. So the audio version drops every single Thursday. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And Thursdays are always pretty stacked for us. We also dropped a brand new YouTube upload, where last week during episode 196, we spoke a little bit about the state of social media in 2024 and what is to come next year, what the state of everything is right now, and a whole lot of stuff, man. So yeah, very, very interesting, but nonetheless, that YouTube upload is available right now, so definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that does show love to the YouTube side of things. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And make sure you subscribe. One last thing, we are like 4 or 5 subscribers away from 300. We're really trying to hit that 300 mark before 2025. So definitely go check out the channel and go show that some love, and go show the channel and these artists some love, per usual. So, heading into the weekend, we had a really stacked weekend that we're going to talk about here. So, sipping a little bit of coffee here. Rolling into Friday, I dropped a brand new interview with the homie Laveries at Music Mondays, and underground veteran, realistically. They've been hanging around the underground scene for quite some time. They've been submitting to Music Mondays for quite some time. So I'd sat down with Laveries, and kind of chopped it up with them and really spoke about their early roots and their current album and things like that. So the Laveri's interview is available right now on allmusicmondays.com, so definitely go check that out and go show that some love. That dropped on Friday, and then we rolled into Saturday with another brand new article by the homie, I don't know, Young Jay. Jay actually wrote a wonderful think piece on not only the state of underground hip hop, but just hip hop in general. And they gave some really, really cool just thoughts. And it was one of those like very passionate think pieces as well. So that's definitely one where I recommend you grab a cup of coffee or grab a smoke and definitely go read that because Jay definitely killed it for sure. So two brand new articles up right now. Laveri's interview, Jay think piece. Huge shout out to Jay as well. But those two are up right now, so definitely go check that out and go show those some love per usual. Huge shout out to Jay, and huge shout out to anybody that does read the Music Mondays pieces. I noticed our website has been killing it in terms of traffic lately. Everybody's kind of been browsing the site, so you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But that was Saturday, and then of course we rolled into Saturday again, Saturday evening with episode 196 of the Music Mondays podcast dropping on our YouTube channel. So it drops every Saturday on our channel for, again, those of you that do miss the live show or anybody who prefers the YouTube upload. That's definitely available right now. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. Episode 196 is available right now. So we headed into Sunday, per usual, with a brand new volume of SoundCloud Sunday. That was actually curated by 3 of our staff curators, including myself. That was curated by me, the homie Waterfalls, and the homie Jester, 2 of our Music Monday staff curators. So huge shout out to them for putting this playlist together this week. You know, it's always such a stark difference when it's just like 1 or 2 of us, or like there's like 3 of us on SoundCloud Sunday, because there's always just such like a wide fucking range of stuff. But yeah, man, SoundCloud Sunday volume 158 is available right now, so definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And huge shout out to our Music Monday staff curators. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, that is basically your weekly recap as far as like anything major goes. A couple banger pieces this week, new YouTube upload, lots of stuff out right now, so definitely go check out all that good jazz. But let's talk, my friends. So let's see here. That was the weekly recap. Let's talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. So last week I spoke a little bit about the main, kind of pieces that are moving right now, right? So again, the Music Mondays Awards are like a really big deal. And then Music Mondays merch and the Music Mondays Patreon are things that I've been working solo on in the background. So those 3 things are still kind of cooking up as the days go on and the weeks go on, and really trying to make sure that those go well. But of course, trying to wrap up the end of the year, kind of like I said during the last show, really something that I want to hunker down with. And this week I actually like reorganized like my whole schedule, right? Not just for like Music Mondays, but I reorganized everything for all my artists, a few of my other teams, the Music Mondays team, of course. So there's a couple of things that I had to like readjust, right, to make sure that shit goes smoothly, right? So reorganizing the schedule definitely felt good, but now that that's out the way, I'm heading back into focus for a few other things when it comes to Music Mondays. Like I said, the Patreon will come first. Music Mondays Awards aren't until December, and then Music Mondays merch is kind of like a 24/7 kind of deal. So those 3 things are like very, very important. And of course, your monthly and weekly content will stay the same, right? So of course, we have the whole staff working very, very diligently when it comes to articles, playlists, ideas, of course, right? So again, a lot of that stuff will stay the same, but you'll see a lot of the classics come back, right? So when it comes down to underground classics, the monthly, Across the Pond, a couple of our other playlists over there on SoundCloud that need to be updated will be updated before the end of the year, which will be really sick. So basically reorganizing the pieces now before I reintroduce anything else, So it's been fun, but finally almost done with everything. So after we head into November, realistically, I think the Music Mondays Awards, after we get out the Patreon stuff, of course, is going to be our big like year closer, right? So only 2 months left in the year, but really trying to hunker down and make sure that 2025 goes really well. That's something that I really wanted to focus on for sure. But again, nothing's changing at all. Of course, all of your weekly and monthly content will stay the same, like I said. So that'll be relatively the same. So that's kind of like the scope of things over like the next week or so. Especially with us getting to episode 200 of the Music Mondays podcast. That'll actually happen before the Music Mondays Awards. So I have a couple of ideas for episode 200 of the Music Mondays podcast. Whether we bring some guests on, whether we kind of go through and make like a montage, or we kind of just celebrate for the night, right? And we just kind of shoot the shit and we just talk about the show and we kind of go over some things. I'm not sure what direction we're going to go with as far as episode 200 goes. I didn't want to make it like a crazy event, right? Because we have the Music Mondays Awards coming up and things like that. But I do think that 200 is like a really crazy milestone as well. So I definitely want to recognize it and celebrate it a little bit, you know, because without the community, I mean, we definitely would have not have hit 200 episodes. You know what I mean? I think in 200 episodes, I missed probably like 3 shows. And missing them is kind of a strong word because the next day they just got recorded anyway, right? The next day I would just go live on like a Tuesday. But I think like the only times that I've had to miss the show, I've even done the show when I was sick, but I think the only times I've had to miss the show was if my power was out, right? I think in like 2021 or 2022, we had like a crazy blizzard on the East Coast. And that was one time where I specifically remember I was like, fuck, there's like nothing I can do. So my power was definitely chalked. I'm trying to think of what else it was. I think it was probably just some family stuff, you know, probably just some like regular shit like that. But there's definitely no more than like 2 or 3 times where I've missed a show. So to get to 200 is like pretty fucking crazy for sure. But that's coming up as well, so that'll be fun. But a couple cool things coming up, a couple important things getting finished off, and new stuff being announced and getting ready for the new year. You know what I mean? So that's sort of like the next couple weeks scope for Music Mondays, right? But per usual, let's talk recruiting and let's talk Music Mondays exclusives. So you guys know I talk exclusives and recruiting every single episode. Just to remind you that Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for all of our staff roles. We are looking for writers, journalists, curators, designers, social media people, anybody that wants to do social media content, short form, long form content on YouTube. If any of those roles interest you, definitely send us a message, send us a DM. We'll be happy to give you some more details on that. And of course, if you're interested in any more of the roles or you want more of an explanation of the roles, again, send us a message, or you can go check out the role guide that I uploaded on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, where I kind of break down all the Music Mondays staff roles and really what entails for, you know, becoming a Music Mondays staff member and really how everything kind of operates, right? So definitely go check that out if you're interested in a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown for all the roles, because I definitely think that'll be solid. But again, send us a message, send us a DM if you're interested in joining the Music Mondays staff team. And of course, Music Mondays is on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives, right? We are looking for unreleased SoundCloud tracks to host on our SoundCloud and to promote across all of our social media for free. So again, we are only interested in unreleased tracks, but if you'd like to have a track hosted on the Music Mondays SoundCloud, definitely let us know. Send us a DM, send us a message. Feel free to do whatever you want with the track afterwards. If you want to go and upload it on all stores, that's great. But we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. It'll not only help show support to, of course, all of our community, right? But to just show some support to our SoundCloud audience as well. So that was something that, you know, I really wanted to get at least one more of before the new year, right? So SoundCloud exclusives, definitely let us know. Definitely send us a message. And of course, we are on the hunt for YouTube exclusives as well. So again, if you have a lyric video, if you have a AMV, if you even just want some audio hosted, or you have a music video that you'd like to have hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel of almost 300 subscribers and hosted and promoted across all of our socials for free, definitely let us know. That's something we can plan out and have a discussion about. And of course, same goes for SoundCloud. So YouTube and SoundCloud exclusives, we're definitely hunting for those. So definitely let us know if you'd like to have a little Music Mondays promotion on your side. So, that's that, my friends. That's pretty much like the deep scope of things. We spoke about weekly recap jazz. We spoke about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We spoke recruiting. We talked about exclusives. One last thing we got to go over before we get into some reactions and reviews is our discussion segment. So our discussion segment here is going to be pretty simple, but it's something I kind of came up with on the fly. Well, not really, because this is a topic that I really wanted to discuss early on, but I didn't really have an excuse to like kind of dive in with it. But today somebody brought up to me, um, you know, how easy it is to find Zomslays on Google, right? Like Zomslays, like the name, everything comes up for me, my Instagram, my Spotify, my Twitch, etc., 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 my Twitter, all that good jazz. So what we're going to talk about today is branding, but not really branding in terms of like logos and things like that. We're going to talk about the more kind of nerdier side of it and why it matters that you should have, consistent branding is the way I'm going to put it. Why you should have consistent branding, right? So let's talk about it. So, all right. This is a very interesting topic because for me, I love being consistent. I love having things kind of like in a certain way, whether that's like OCD or not, I'm not sure, but it kind of has a double benefit in the aspect of how easy it is for new supporters and fans to find you, right? So when it comes to your branding, again, I'm not really talking about logos. I'm not talking about logos. I'm not even talking about like your name in specific. What I'm talking about is your social media handles and where people can find you, and your website and your search engine optimization. Really, it really comes down to how well and how easy people can find you. So I think a big thing here that I see a lot of people do, and I'm talking like hundreds of people, especially over the last like 2 or 3 years, where we've been doing SoundCloud Sunday and we've been doing submissions and things like that. People's social media handles are usually different across all social medias, and that is not good. That is not good. I mean, some of it's preference, right? Like some of it's preference, and it's not that big of a change. But if your Instagram handle is completely different from your Twitter handle and it's completely different from your Spotify, all those things aren't going to be lumped together when somebody Googles your name. So again, for those of you that are looking to go long term and you're trying to build a brand and you're trying to become an entity almost, right? You're trying to build something. This is something you need to lock in. You absolutely have to lock this in, because I see it way too much and it's way too hard to find certain people's social media. You can't find your Spotify because it's under a different name here and it's under a different name there. That is one of the easiest ways to lose momentum, right? Because you could be having people that like follow you for like 2 to 3 months, they're bumping all your shit, and then you change your social media handles without telling anybody, or you change your website domain, or you start going by a slightly different name. There's so many situations where I see this happen, and people kind of lose momentum because people can't find you. As easy as the internet is, right, there's still work to be done when it comes to making it easy for people to access you, right? That's why having a website, or even at the very least a link tree, or any form of those link websites where you can just shove a bunch of links in one place, because it's easier for people to find you, right? It's easier for people to connect with you, and it's easier for people to support you, right? And ultimately, like, that's what you want. Like, I'm not sure why people make it so hard on themselves for people to support them. That is the ultimate thing that is like wrong with this, is like you're just pushing people away, and you're kind of steering people in like the wrong direction that would have found you if you weren't changing your name, or you had consistent social handles, or your website domain was like really solid. So that's where in my personal experience, right, because I don't really speak on shit that like I can't really vouch for, and this is something over the years that I've totally seen not only help people that lock down their names, but it becomes so much easier for people to just kind of not only find you, but like find the information that they want, right? Because for instance, like back in the day, everybody used to be like, oh yeah, Google me and this, that, and the third. Like I still even see it in people's bios to this day, like Google me, because now they have like they've always had these, but now they have an easier way for you to get your artist panel on Google, right? So for those of you that don't know, type in your favorite artist on Google, and to the right you'll have that artist panel, right? And it has all their links to their music platforms and their socials and things like that. That's what you want. Every artist can have that. But if your socials and your shit isn't on lock, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen, because you can definitely edit your Google panels through Gmail, right? That's definitely something that has always been a thing. But when it comes to these like artist pages, it'll automatically collect data, and it'll kind of like put that together for you if all of your shit is kind of in one place. So that's where, even if you're just starting out, or even, you know, you've been doing it for years but you're trying to get your branding consistent, that'd be one thing that I totally recommend for you, just to make it easier for new potential supporters to find you, right? I mean, like, again, that's the ultimate goal. Like, you want your music to land on the right ears. So really all that's doing is just helping you kind of achieve that. That's really all that's doing. And it's decreasing the chances of you staying hidden. Because, like, the underground's a proud place, and like, will always be underground, but nobody wants to be underground forever. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to find their fan base, and everybody wants to find their audience, and everybody wants to do these things, right? So that's one of those things where just make it easier for people to find you. You know, that's why, again, the Linktree website thing really works, because people are like, it's 2024. People have like short attention spans. People are rushing. People, like, if they can't get to your Spotify page in less than 3 clicks, you're probably going to lose a fucking potential supporter. And maybe that's not even somebody you really want supporting you, right? Of course, because if you're not even going to take the time to like do your due diligence, you probably don't want them as a, you know, a fan anyway. But still, regardless, that still matters. You still want those people to kind of at least have a chance, right? So make it as easy as you can for people to find you. That's like the number one thing there, is to just make it easy for people to find you. That's it. Period. So again, if your Instagram and your Twitters and all your other handles are like slightly different, I don't think that that's that big of a deal. But don't make it just completely 2 different names, right? Because I've seen people with like different Twitter names than they do on Instagram, and their Spotify is also different because it's spelled a different way. Fuck that. Absolutely not. No way. Because really, all you're doing is just making it hard for people to find you. That's really all it is. You know what I mean? So try to get your branding consistent, and branding in that aspect of like the smaller stuff, not really like logos and the name itself, because you could call your name fucking Johnny Backwood. It doesn't really matter, but you need to make sure across all of your socials, your name is Johnny Backwood. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that is very, very, very fucking important. And even if it's like Johnny Backwood underscore 420, and then Johnny Backwood V2 on Twitter, like shit like that is also fine. You know what I mean? But just make it in general the same kind of idea, you know, because you don't want it to where, you know, people have to literally search something completely different to even find any of your music pages, or even to find you on distro. You know what I mean? So that's my thing, and that's one thing that I definitely wanted to mention here, just because, again, I see a lot of people do it all the time, and, you know, like I said at the start, like, branding was something that I had even struggled with, right? I mean, because, like, the Zom Slay's name, like, wasn't a plan, you know what I mean? Like, that was like my old gamer tag, and then when I got into music production, I just kind of kept it. And I even thought like once or twice about changing my name, but I never ended up doing it. And throughout the years, you know, the name Zom Slays just expanded. You know what I mean? I made more accounts on more socials. Things started to become more fluid when it came to me leaving like a digital footprint, right? Because that's really what you're doing, is leaving a digital footprint. And that's the kind of footprint that you want to leave. You know, you want to be everywhere at all times. That's one thing I definitely recommend going into 2025 that you want to do, is to just make sure that all your socials are consistent, and make sure it's very easy for people to find you. If you don't have a link tree, make a link tree. If all your handles are different, make them the same. If your Spotify is a little different, change that too. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that all that shit's good going into 2025, so that way you can spend the year focusing on your art, not worrying too much about consistency or why people can't find you or X, Y, or Z, right? So that's that, my friends. That's that. Just a little thought on that, and just something I wanted to mention. But again, if you have any other questions or you have any thoughts about that, definitely leave it in the comments, because this will be uploaded on the channel. And of course, send us a tweet, send us a DM if you have any other questions about that too. But per usual, make sure you sub the channel. We're like 4 or 5 subs away from 300, so definitely sub the channel. We upload videos just like these 2 times a week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there, man. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, man. Just a little bit of a small point I wanted to make there. Definitely just a little bit of a small point, you know. Something that I thought would be useful, and just to like spark the conversation on things like that. Little topics like that are very important, but they're just like subtle reminders, you know. But yeah, That's definitely a very, very important one. Just something that I saw a lot of, you know what I mean? Like I saw a lot of that happening. So I had to talk about it. But you guys know the drill. It's time. It is time, my friends. So let's get into some reactions and reviews. Let's get it. All right. So submissions are in the same format every single week. And for those of you that are new here, they'll always read Artists and Creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on October 28th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/onplays, which is here and now. So again, if you'd like to submit for any Music Mondays podcast, just make sure you check the date, drop your link below, and you should be good to go. Just make sure you're not submitting for any older podcasts or anything like that. Just make sure the show actually hasn't happened yet, and you'll be good to go, per usual. And of course, if you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've pretty much reacted to everything here on the show. Everything from obviously music, instrumentals, vocals, covers, YouTube edits, visuals, AMVs, photography, videography, quite literally, you name it, we've reacted to it. Because again, purely for the simple fact that many underground creatives are multi-talented. A lot of people are also producing while they record, and also, you know, people do art that also produce, and a lot of engineers also do vocals. So there's a lot of there's a lot of shared creativity between everybody. So I wanted to make sure that everybody kind of had a fair chance to get onto the Music Mondays podcast, right? So again, feel free to submit whatever you'd like. And of course, for our show limit, just to make sure that the show's a little bit more palatable to watch back. You know, one could argue that a 4-hour show limit is still a bit long, but definitely not as long as some of our older shows that used to run upwards of like 6-7 hours. So just keep that in mind. And of course, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch on Mondays. So that's the other thing too, is just to relieves a little bit of pressure off the staff and make sure that we give you guys good, consistent shows. So, of course, submissions are free. They always have been free, and they always will be free. The only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Quite literally, that's literally the only thing that we ask. You know, of course, that not only helps support our brand and our platform and spread our message, but you're also paying respect to everybody else that does wait for their submissions to be played first every single week here on the show. Like I said, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. That's the only thing that we do ask before you do submit. So make sure you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. And of course, Patreon subscribers, submissions are played first every single week here on the show. So again, if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, whether it's the basic tier, the advanced tier, or the premium tier, you gain access to a bunch of other goodies there on the Music Mondays Patreon. But the main thing that you gain access to is the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which for the duration of the Music Mondays Patreon pledge, so again, for the duration that you're pledged, you gain access to the Music Mondays Patreon. So for example, if you subscribe to the Patreon tonight on the 28th, for the next 4 Mondays in a row, or for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon, you'll gain access to what's called the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which allows you to have all your submissions played first here on the show, not only at the height of viewership, but it also grants you the aspect to be played first in all the rebroadcasts and when it comes to Spotify, and really gives you the ability to kind of be at the forefront of the show, and it guarantees that your submissions always get played here on the Music Mondays podcast. So outside of that, I think one last thing we do got to mention is submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts, just so that we can get a little bit of a head count, make sure that you know, we kind of see how many submissions we get, who submitted, things like that. So again, a good rule of thumb just to keep in mind is that the Music Mondays podcast submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. So you have about roughly, I'd say like 6.5 days, about 6 days to get your tracks in. So again, plenty of time to get your tracks in, but just keep that in mind. A good rule of thumb is that once the show is live, submissions are closed. So again, if you're looking to submit for next week's episode, those submissions will be open tomorrow, and submissions are closed for tonight's episode. So, all right, my friends, let's get into it. So, you guys know the drill. First up, we're going with our Patreons tonight. And then we're going to dive into the rest of the community submissions per usual. So let's see here. Okay, so I think we have two tonight, right? So we got the homie Jordan. Jordan be up first and Laverius. So they're back to back, actually. Back to back placements right here. Okay, I love that. I love that. All right, but up first, we got the homie Jordan. Jordan's been snagging this number one slot lately, and I'm loving it, man, because this is just a great way to kick off the show. It's just been so fun to see what Jordan's been up to, and this new project that we've not only kind of dove a little bit into here on the show, but it's almost like a slow reveal, right? It's really really interesting. So Jordan, a very talented multi-genre artist, actually submitted a track titled "Nowhere to Go." I am down. All right, give it a quick pause. Pop it open a new tab. All right, so this is off of their latest project titled The Fire. All right, this will be very interesting because, man, I think we've reacted to okay, so no official playlist for The Fire yet. But I think we reacted to probably I'd say like 3 or 4. This is probably like the third or fourth one that we've reacted to. So I'm down, man. Let's get into it. Jordan, nowhere to go. Let's go.
Open your eyes this time. The light is shining on you. Open your eyes, open your eyes.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to go. Alright, let's see how it sounds real quick. I'm waiting to figure out how I can prove there's something like magic that I'm trying to use. Still waiting to learn how I gotta be. There's something like madness, so what happened to me? I made it to this point despite all I did. Cause I self-destruct, it's just how I live. Open my eyes just to see all the smoke. Unless I go through it, there's nowhere to go. Unless I go through it, it's gonna hurt me more. The less that I'm moving, the burn gonna be slow. My dreams always lucid, but now it is gone. The flame starts consuming the ground that I'm on. They say that it's human, they feel kinda wrong. I feel kinda off as the fire goes on. I just can't stand here too long. No. I'm waiting to figure out how I can prove there's something like magic that I'm trying to use. So waiting to learn how I gotta be. Something like madness, what happened to me? I made it to this point despite all I did. Cause I self-destruct, it's just how I live. Open my eyes to see all the smoke. Unless I go through it, there's nowhere to go. Yeah, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to go. Yeah, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to go.
What an interesting track there.
Nowhere to go, nowhere to go. Yeah, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to go.
Okay, so this was very interesting for a couple of reasons, right? For a couple of reasons. I think the instrumental here was very unique. I love like the hard drums mixed with like this more of like a softer tone, right? And then you know, the vocals almost kind of remind me of like early Jordan, but very much improved obviously and very much like refined. Like that's one thing I kind of noticed here was this kind of reminded me of like very old, like just older Jordan, I would say. You know what I mean? It definitely has that like early kind of flavor to it, which is very very interesting. Like very fucking interesting. So I'm excited to break this one down because this is a special track, especially for a project like this and like what we've heard so far. Let's talk about it. Um, we're gonna talk about 3 things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, all right. Let's talk instrumental. Self-produced, I'm like 90% sure. Written and produced by Jordan. Okay, yeah. Just had to check just to be sure. I kind of assumed self-produced, but you never know. So the mix first. Fantastic. I mean, Jordan's had a very consistent mix, but when it comes to like just their production specifically, I feel like this mix was very solid. Drums were great. Melodies had their own kind of space. The sample had its own space. I mean, nothing here that I thought was like overbearing or like kind of in the way of each other. You know what I mean? And again, not really a shocker. Jordan's been very consistent with their mixing in general, but again, for just their production, even more consistent. You know what I mean? But um, it makes it solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that I would really change here at all. Um, you know, the one thing that really just like tickled that like good part of your brain, right? You know, sometimes when you hear a beat or a song and it just like hits that part of your brain like really well. I think the one part was for me was the drums here. I mean, the vocal sample was great, the melody was great, but the drums again kind of bring this dynamic that, you know, it makes it a little bit more darker, but it doesn't necessarily like change the track that much. It just has a nice kind of aggression to it. And it could be the sound selection, it could be the patterns, it could be a multitude of things. But for me, the drums cleared here. I really like the drums a lot. But the vocal sample was also well utilized because I don't think it was like throughout the whole fucking song, right? Because you know how some samples are like the whole song and it's like, damn, you kind of overused it. Not this one. Definitely not this one. I feel like the vocal sample was like used just the right amount. So drums clear, definitely the shining star, but the vocal sample is a very close second. Very close second. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. This one definitely has like a little bit more of like a darker tone to it, but I wouldn't say it's like a crazy change from Jordan's usual mix or even like the mix of the other songs on the project. I feel like it's very consistent. And each mix kind of has its own like slight flavor to it. I feel like everything is like slightly different, but not really. Which is kind of redeeming. You know what I mean? Because like you don't really want to stay to like one consistent mix for every single track, especially if you're like attacking different styles and things like that. You definitely want to like play around with what you can really do with it. So for me, I like the kind of like slight change in vocal mix. You know, I definitely think that that was like a good highlight throughout this project that we've heard so far. Is like each vocal mix is like slightly tuned to what the song's emotions and like energy is. You know, I definitely feel like the mix is like very reflective of that, which I thought is like it's just a nice touch. Um, so with that said, vocal mix great. To be honest with you, definitely great. Um, I think the big thing with the vocal mix before we move on is like it matched the tone of the song really well, and I think that was a big plus for me. Um, so vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. You know the flow and cadence and delivery. I think that's really what reminded me of like old Jordan and like the older kind of tracks. But also, our writing was very poetic and very like easy to visualize. Like it was very much like a story esque kind of writing, which I thought was great. Um, so I'm kind of torn between those two. Mm, you know, probably writing, just because it was really easy for me to like visualize everything that Jordan was saying, and like it almost felt like a cartoon almost. You know, like one of those like short panels that just like span a little bit, and there's like fire going on in the background, and like it's very easy for me to visualize certain tracks of Jordan's, and this was definitely one where I felt like it was easy to picture, very easy to picture for sure. So for me, definitely writing. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. I spoke a little bit about this cover, um, but I think the one thing that I love about this so much is the final version. Because for those of you that were here, right, I think it was like 3, 4 episodes ago, there was like an earlier draft of this cover that was just as cool, but it almost like evolved, almost like a Pokemon evolution or something like that. Like this cover definitely like evolved for me, and where they settled and you know what Jordan ultimately picked here was great. Especially for something called the Fire and like being such like a visually like enticing kind of track or project. I would say that this cover is like absolutely project worthy, no doubt, no doubt. So aesthetics definitely on point. Big fan of this cover. I like the minimalist look anyway. I'm kind of biased with the minimalist looks, but I like this one a lot. Um, Overall theme, nowhere to go. I just kept thinking about being surrounded by fire almost, right? And like Jordan even had like a couple lines about like, going too slow and uh the burn's gonna last longer and just being too close to the fire. Like this is a very like what's the word? I keep wanting to say poetic, but it's a very like specific track. It'll definitely get you wrapped up and like really thinking for a second. Because there's a lot of like wordplay and analogies and like just bars in here that make you like really put insane images in your head when it comes to like a whole project titled The Fire, right? I mean, just one of those things that like comes naturally. And I feel like that's really all credit to Jordan kind of mapping out this theme and like having this theme of burning and fire and flames and things like that. But also the way that this one in specific was written was just like it felt very honest, of course, per usual, but something about it was very specific. It was almost like you were right there with Jordan experiencing the fire and the burning and that feeling of pressure almost, you know what I mean? And thus the song title Nowhere to Go. You know what I mean? And that could be just me as the listener, right? But this was one where I feel like if you listen to the whole project front to back, this one could be very underrated. Like very, very underrated. And I feel like it's a very essential track to the project in terms of like explaining the theme and like giving people that burning, fiery pressure kind of feel. You know what I mean? So well done. Well done. This is a deep one right here. But with that said, huge shout out to Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow Jordan on SoundCloud. There are 3 followers away from 80. And of course, make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They are 2 followers away from 500. Go get them back up to 500, man. Them bot followers coming in and out, man. But per usual, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. And huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patreons. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the love. And let's continue on, my friends. So, we left off with the homie Jordan, our first Music Mondays Patreon of the night, and our last, but certainly not least Patreon of the night, the homie Laverius. Now, Laverius has been doing a massive rollout for the new project titled Recession Rap. We actually just dropped a fantastic interview with Laverius on the Music Mondays website, so definitely go check that out and go show Laverius some love. That's a W read and also conducted by me. But Laverius, a very talented hip-hop artist, submitted a track titled Toast One, maybe the most unique track in my discography. So this is definitely one we have not reacted to, and now we're going to start going through the finals of the whole project. I think the last one we reacted to was, let's see here. I think it was Dedicated. So we didn't do anything else. We heard all of the rough snippets and we heard kind of like the early drafts and like the ideas behind everything, right? But now we're hearing the finals. Now we finally have the project ready to go. So let's get into it. We already did Dedicated, and now we're going to do track number 2, Toast One. This is like right after. That's actually kind of sick. Now we're going in like the track order. All right, I'm down. All right, let's get into it. Laverius, Toast One. Let's go. Oh shit.
She wanna go up to the room so she can choke some down. Yeah, I let her throw some, and then I painted on her face, might make her glow or some. She asked me for no money, but I still throw her some. Cause when she do that shit like that, feel like I owe her some. Yeah, I'm finna toast one. I'm finna toast one.
Interesting.
I'm finna toast one, yeah. To get fucked up, yeah. Grab your blunder, grab your cup and fuck that shit up, yeah. Yeah, A being sober, so, yeah. So what? I ain't being sober, so I bought some more drugs, yeah. We can pull it up, pop that shit up, smoke it up, yeah. I don't give a fuck what you wanna do, let's do it, bitch, yeah. Drink responsibly, don't drive under the influence, yeah. Hey, let's hit the club, yeah. We can get fucked up, yeah. Let's get fucked up, yeah. Let's get fucked up, hey. I don't give a fuck, oh yeah. I don't give a fuck, oh yeah. I don't give a fuck, oh yeah. And you know that I'ma rock out on that stage with no guitar, bitch. Yeah, I'm fucking up that stage cause I'm a star, bitch. They ain't fucking with my name on their charts, bitch. They all listening to me, I'm in charge of shit. Yeah, this dick so fucking rich that I might charge a bitch, I don't mean no disrespect when I stand on top of shit, My bitch look bad like she the future and I'm not an optimist, Better watch your back, no, I don't play already, got an op in this wood. Yeah, got an op in this wood. Yeah, got a bitch that throat. And I got a bitch that ain't gon' leave me, she say she need me like dope. Yeah, I'm finna toast one, yeah. To get fucked up, yeah. Grab your blunder, grab your cup and fuck that shit up, yeah. I'm finna toast one, yeah. To get fucked up, yeah. Grab your blunder, grab your cup and fuck that shit up, yeah. Sweat this shit out, cause it's hard as fuck and I'm high as fuck. Oh yeah, yeah, sweat this shit out, cause it's hard as fuck and I'm high as fuck. Oh yeah, yeah. We can get fucked today, we can get fucked tomorrow. We can forget we got fucked up and then get fucked tomorrow. Yeah, I'm finna toast one, yeah. To get fucked up, yeah. Grab your blunder, grab your cup and fuck that shit up, yeah. Yeah, I'm finna toast one, yeah. To get fucked up, yeah. Grab your blunder, grab your cup and fuck that shit up, yeah.
Recession rap. I miss it. I need it. Their art is just not reflective of the times that we're living in.
Oh man, I love that sample at the end. Okay. This was a very ambitious track. I would completely agree. Like, totally out of the Laveri's element, and like for what it is, I feel like Laveri's did a good job with this, man. Like, I really feel like they did a good job with this when it comes down to like just getting out of your element, right? I mean, like, you could have like went back and tried to like perfect something like this, but just to like get it out and kind of construct it and like finalize it and be like, okay, like I did that, like doing it again now is going to be even better. You know, like you have to get the first one out of these like kind of styles that are outside your realm to get to the next level. You know what I mean? So this is one where I feel like it was necessary. This is necessary for any artist to kind of improve their styles, right? So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So we're going to talk about we're talking about three things actually. We're going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals. And we're going to talk about the overall theme of this track. So let's talk instrumental. First off, I love the choice, just based off the fact that it's like out of Laveri's element, right? It's definitely not something that they would like normally pick or like are known for or anything like that. It obviously still has like a very like alternative rock style, but it definitely has like a little bit of other elements to it, right? So the choice itself is pretty crazy, but mix is, I mean, the mix is so crisp on this instrumental. Like, the melodies are fucking crazy, especially with like some of these more heavier guitar kind of melodies. These can be a bitch to work with, especially if like you're tracking them out and like recording them. These can be fucking annoying to work with. So to, you know, get like a solid mix on them is always like a W feeling. So I love this mix. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Sound selection is great. Nothing that I would ultimately change when it comes to the instrumental. Fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic. Melodies really shined here, though. So let's talk Shining Star. Instrumental Shining Star. You know, I kind of want to say melodies. Like, I keep going back to the melodies and like how heavy they were and how like it was really solid, really really fucking solid. But the drums, played just as much of a part though. The drums kept that like real solid, heavy like hip hop element, and it wasn't too like live instrument based. Like you still had like your samples in there, and I feel like that was like a really solid direction to take this kind of instrumental. So I do like the drums a lot. Um, let's go melodies though. I feel like the melodies were like a big player here and like very very important to like the energy of this track, right? So for me, definitely melodies, but drums are a close second. Vocal mix. Okay, vocal mix is interesting because this is this is one where again, I feel like going out of your element can really make you learn a lot, right? And it can make you kind of realize a bunch of shit and you're like, okay, like I need to do this better and I need to do X, Y, or Z better. Like this is one where like if you're going out of your element or like going out of your way to like try different instrumentals or different styles or even just do different vocals, I feel like you can never be perfect on the first try. You know what I mean? Especially if you're so used to doing one type of genre, right? It's like a rock artist trying to go back and do like real raw hip hop. Like it's just not gonna work. You know what I mean? It's very hard. So that's why I feel like artists doing this kind of thing where they push themselves to go out of their element and really try to like find something and make something shake when it comes to like a new style. I think that's always a good thing. You know what I mean? Always a good thing. So it's one of those things that I think Laverius is like really smart for, and like it just man like it really makes you um push for like a better ceiling and like push through to like that new level. It really does. It really does. So for where this vocal mix at, it's solid. I mean, it's a very Laverius kind of style vocal mix, right? So I wouldn't think that they would like ultimately try to like switch the vocal mix up and like do something even more crazier than usual, right? I feel like it's what I expected of it for sure. So definitely one of the styles that you could like perfect on, and you could kind of go back to the lab and kind of go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, like I could do this better, I can do X, Y, or Z better. Like there's definitely a way to like continue to build on this style for sure. So vocal shining star. Hmm. Um, Probably writing. I feel like the writing was solid here when it comes to like a party turn up track. Very much a like a Friday night, Saturday night, like 3 a.m. kind of track for sure. Definitely one that like keeps the mood going 100%. So for me, definitely writing. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk deep. Aesthetics, recession rap. So I don't think we've officially reacted to this cover yet. I think, yeah, because we reacted to Dedicated last week, so we didn't really even have a chance to kind of go over this cover yet, which is pretty crazy. But regardless, I love this cover. This cover takes me back to like the like early like 2010-ish kind of era, but it's very fresh and new, right? Like this style was like very popular at one point, but now it's got this like forever kind of flavor to it. So whenever somebody does like a cover in this style, I'm always a big fan of it. It has this like vinyl CD esque kind of feel to it, but of course with Recession Rap being the title, you got the Cash in the middle, Varies and Ghosts up top, Recession Rap below that, Parental Advisory bottom mid. I mean, not much more you can ask from this. Album worthy, absolutely. Simple, absolutely. But it fits the bill. It hits the mark as far as like a project art piece goes. For sure, no question. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme for Toast One, I mean, realistically, it's a party song. It's a turn up song, and Laverius does a good job writing those. Even from their last project, we kind of knew that, right? Laverius has been a very solid writer when it comes to like writing turn up tracks or tracks that just have like a lot of wordplay and are just kind of like fun to spin on like a good weekend or like a good Friday night or something like that. You know what I mean? So this one definitely falls in line with that, but there's a lot of like fun bars here. There's a lot of like personal bars here, and Laverius is always very honest in their tracks as well. This is one where again I feel like it's very relatable to almost anybody or even just the average listener. So Dedicated, Toast One, I feel like for track 2 this is a solid choice. I feel like this is definitely a solid choice, and definitely like intrigues people to see what comes next, just because the instrumental was so wild. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like what the fuck are we? You know what I mean? Like, what are we about to get next? So this is one I'm definitely excited to continue to break down here on the show. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Laverius. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Laverius and Ghost on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow Laverius on Twitter. They are 9 followers away from 130. So go show them some love over there in the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episode, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, baby. Let's fucking get it. And if you already have, thank you. Thank you for showing love to the Music Mondays platform, my friends. And huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patreons of the night. You guys are fucking beautiful and amazing. Thank you, Jordan and Laveries. And huge shout out to the rest of our Patreon crew. King Mark, Ryuki, Kruker, Jordan, Laveries, anybody else who's following the Patreon, anybody else who's been subbed to the Patreon. You guys are awesome. Thank you. So, that was our 2 Patrons of the night. You guys know the drill. We're going to go back into the rest of our community. So, like usual, we're going to go from top to bottom and just run it down. Let's get it. So, first up, we got the homie, Sam's Raps. Now, Sam's Raps has been absolutely fucking killing it with a lot of their submissions here on the show. We've been diving into their unreleased demo kind of discog backlog, and it's been a really fun time. It's been a really, really fun time. But a very talented hip-hop artist, Sam's Raps, submitted a little background. Every week we do a pop quiz in the Sosa World Discord where a producer submits a 16 on a Wednesday, and whoever wants to rap on it does so by Sunday. Verses are then played by Oogie on stream on Sunday. Full extra credit pop quiz I assigned myself because I really like the exercise. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Survival and Negativity one where they just kind of write with no constraints and like no themes or anything like that. So exercises like these really do work for sure. They 100% work. So I'm down. Let's pop this open a new tab. I was outside, extra credit, rough. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Sam's Raps, I was outside, unreleased. Let's go.
Alright. Look. I was outside when the roof caved in. Unusual view from the stoop. I sit when the moonlight hit, and I drew my pen, and I knew right then that I do my shit. Splash of the ink just to paint my sins. Canvas is wrapped in a glass half sip with a bastard is grin and a dash of the grim with a terrible past to be trapping them in. Hazardous packed, so I caution the spliff. Moss in the sauce, give a natural lift. Got a gift for the gab in a bag full of tricks. I'ma grab from a hat at the crash of the pin. Tip of the cap, and I'm passing your bitch. Won't double back, I just flash at the brim. Then I'm capping the pin, cause I mean what I said. That 16 tight like it faster than shit. Ha.
Holy
Is it
shit.
really with the shit? Early mornings at the gym. Setting to go to get rich, but what is the play of the script? Setting to go to get rich, but what is the play of the script, bitch? I catch a flow and I drip, but you might want to go to LinkedIn, bitch.
Okay.
Hiring a statistician just to clock me. Set a goal and rip the cheddar. Watch me as I flaunt cheese. I'm catching fire on a roll. I'm never stopping, dropping. If you hating on my flow, is that still pocket watching? Your crew is fishy. So I schooled a posse, pulled in by the undertow. Y'all swept away by the current, bro. You gotta keep your head to the swirling storm. Wanna make waves, gotta change your form. Don't get on stage if you can't perform. You gotta sharpen that blade before you swing the sword. Outsource what you can endure. I'll be
Damn.
locked indoors with the purest leaves. With a tree of tea, we gotta get off the feet. Ha, ha, let shit steep. Cloak me in the new mystique. Never show my teeth or the eyes for free. You gotta pay my fee or kiss the feet. There's a finder's fee for the finest meat. Find me in the basement rapping. Cat curled up on a lap and napping. Puff sap sacks to the brain is ashes. I remain tacit while I tame the static. Find me in the basement rapping. Cat curled up on a lap and napping. Puff sap sacks to the brain is ashes. Gotta play my shit while I paint the static.
Oh my. Holy shit.
When the moonlight hit, and I drew my pen, and I knew right then that I do my shit. Alright, that's right. Bash the ink to the paint of my sins, canvas wrapped in a half glass sip.
Let's go, man. Holy shit. Okay. So this was one where you could like ultimately tell that this was about to be like one of those loose kind of like it was just out there, right? Like Sam's just let the pen fucking fly. We got Onwuka in the chat. What's going on, homie? I hope you're well. Happy Monday. Let's get it, baby. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, see, exactly. The rapid bars were crazy. That was the one where, if you're not paying attention, shit could just fly over your head for sure. And the catnap and everything was scripted and relatable. Yeah, definitely. I feel like the description is like such a big thing, such a big thing. But let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of I Was Outside. So, all right. Instrumental. Fantastic. I mean, it's again, like, Sam's is such a master at these like minimalistic, simple instrumentals that they just skate on them like every single time. Like they are able to really bend almost any style of instrumental like this to their will and really do whatever they want with it. You know what I mean? And this is one where I feel like it was really stretched and really was able to like just fucking mold themselves around this instrumental that they were able to like, again, spit whatever they wanted to spit and however they wanted to spit it. You know, so I like the choice a lot, obviously, and of course it has to do with the exercise, but the instrumental itself, regardless, was very solid. Very solid. The mix was great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, especially for like a rougher, you know, unreleased kind of track. Nothing that I would ultimately change here. Samples were solid, drums were solid, melodies were definitely solid. I mean, thinking back on it, really no gripes, to be honest with you. Definitely no gripes at all. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, it really could be the melody. It really could be the melody. I'm kind of torn on the melody and drums. I do like the structure as well. I feel like the structure for a quick track like this has always got to be like decent. So structure's up there for me. Definitely like an underrated like part of this. Hmm. Probably. I do like the melody. It has a very Sam's Raps kind of melody on it, which is why I could see why Sam's like really wanted to like do this anyway. So, probably melody. To be honest with you, I feel like melody really sets the mood, but it also gives that like jazzy, slow kind of feel to it. So for me, definitely melody, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely melody. Vocals, let's talk. I mean, unreleased, rough kind of track, right? So not much mixing done to it. Kind of like very normal light mixing and kind of just left it the way it was. I mean, you know, even Sam's unreleased tracks are really solid mixes. You know what I mean? Like they're not that bad. Of course, you could like improve on them and make sure that they're like a little bit more solid than they are. But lately, Sam's unreleased mixes have been like pretty decent. You know what I mean? Like pretty decent. I mean, we don't really dive into mixes like too hard here on the show anyway, because some of us preference it's more of like a quality thing when it comes down to the mix, right? But definitely no gripes here. I mean, especially for an unreleased track. So vocal mix definitely right where it needs to be. Vocal shining star. So vocal shining star here. I mean, look, there's two things that instantly come to mind, right? And it's without a doubt the flow and cadence and delivery. The flow and cadence and delivery throughout the whole track was nonstop. Start to finish, this was crazy. But the writing, much like Onwuka said in chat, you know, very descriptive, very like in your face, but not too crazy either. It was like pure skill, you know what I mean? Like pure writing skill is really what this was. So you could make an argument for either way. You know, like you could say writing was the shining star of this track, but flow and cadence and delivery for me definitely kept me as a listener engaged and made a lot of the writing even better, you know? So flow and cadence and delivery for sure, but writing is a close second. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Imsoster is fucking hilarious. Shout out Among Us, man. A little fucking Among Us shout with the with the homies in the Discord, man. I love that. See, like shit like this is like cool. Like small insider jokes, man, are like always a plus. So obviously not like a final cover, but a great cover to throw up there just for the memes. Overall theme though. So we can refer back to the caption for this actually. A little background: every week we do a pop quiz on the Source World Discord server, where a producer submits a 16 on Wednesday, and whoever wants to rap on it does so by Sunday. Verses are then played on the Oogie stream on Sunday. This is a little extra credit pop quiz. So, again, like I said at the start of this kind of reminds me of the survival and negativity writing exercise, where Sin really kind of came through and was like, okay, I have this stream series, and I kind of, just take a beat and don't really put any constraints on my writing and just really kind of just let the pen fly. So this is definitely a little bit similar to that, but Sam's really took this to like a whole new level and like really just went out of their way to fucking completely destroy this. You know what I mean? Like completely fucking destroy this. But I do feel like this is one of those tracks in Sam's Discog that I feel like could be an insane final track, right? Like this is definitely one where I feel like if they just added like, maybe another verse or whatever they wanted to do to it and just put it out, this is one where I feel like it really showcases Sam's skills as an artist and, more specifically, hip hop artist, right? So flows and cadences, the delivery, the writing, the wordplay, the bars, there's a whole lot of things here that I feel like were very elevated and are a great showcase of Sam's talent. You know what I mean? So that's why writing exercises like these are very solid, very, very solid. So with that said, huge shout out to Sam's Raps. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Sam's Raps on SoundCloud. They're 6 followers away from 110. And of course, make sure you go follow Sam's Raps on Twitter. They're 20 followers away from 1K. That is a W milestone. Go get them to fucking 1K, baby. Let's go. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you for supporting Music Mondays, my friends. Let's fucking go. So, alrighty, my friends, let's continue on. Alright, we left off with the homie Sam's Raps. Absolutely fucking insane submission. Up next, we have the homie Lucha Libro. Now, Lucha Libro, a very talented alternative artist, has submitted a track. I don't think we've reacted to this. We've reacted to a couple tracks on this project, but I don't think we reacted to this one. I don't believe so. So let's go take a look. Let's see what we got from the homie Lucha Libro, man. Been a couple weeks since we heard from the homie. Let's hear. So no, we definitely have not reacted to this. Holy shit. Okay, I'm down. So we definitely did Carousel. Yeah, we definitely didn't do this one. And this one's a bit longer. All right, let's dive into it. Lucha Libre, let's go.
Rebuscando en las tinieblas por los pasillos en la caverna. No sé cuánta vida le queda a la linterna. ¿Dónde buscando la tiniebla, pero ahora voy a ciegas. Veo con las manos y tropiezo con las piedras. Con las piedras. Encima traje una pila, no sirven esas, usa la más pequeñita, las de triple A. Las de triple A. Rebotando por los pasillos en la caverna, disparado con una bola de pinball. Si me caigo al suelo me recojo con un frenesí animal. Porque sé que si no salgo pronto de aquí, esta caverna será el final para mí. Encima traje una pila, no sirven esas, usa la más pequeñita, las de triple A. Las de triple A.
What the fuck? Was that a bottle crashing? That was definitely like a bottle being thrown. Pez was good. We got Pez in the chat, homie. Welcome on in. Happy motherfucking Monday. Let's get it, baby. Nice engaging track. Yeah, puts you at ease. And yeah. I agree. And some drums. Yep, I was thinking the same. Definitely. This complement of some piano chords or melody in the back would also. Yeah, I agree. Like just the structure. Could Could have had like a little bit more elbow grease on it, but I definitely see the direction. I mean, obviously, with me only speaking English, I can only dissect this so deeply. But when it comes down to it, something tells me that this was somewhat of like a love kind of emotional type track. You know what I mean? Definitely has the feel of like a love ballad for sure. Um so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we are going to talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, um instrumental. Let's talk mix. So for such like a basic track here, um, you needed to make sure that the mix was solid. And by basic track, I just mean it's more minimalistic, right? You know, you have the acoustic melodies in here, about like two or three of them, and then it's structured out. So it's like, okay, you needed to make sure that this mix was like gonna be pretty solid, you know. So for what it is, it's there. Definitely nothing clashing to overbearing. Vocals sat nice. Nothing that I thought was like ultimately really in the way when it comes to the instrumental itself, for sure. Um, so instrumental mix solid, definitely for what it is. Instrumental Shining Star. Um, you know, I definitely agree with Chad here, and what Pez and Onwuka kind of mentioned was you know, a little bit more spice would have been great, but also I do like the acoustic vibe in general. You know, probably a little bit biased as well, just because this kind of style is always like been really solid to me, especially like in the later years. You know, so acoustic tracks like these can always like really hit the spot. Um, so instrumental Shining Star is definitely the melodies, 100%. It has that like love kind of peace Sunday feel to it. A little bit more of a, like emotion as well, you know. So definitely melodies for sure, especially like the intro outro. There's definitely like a couple switch ups in there that I thought were definitely necessary. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. A vocal mix. I mean, vocal mix is somewhat um pretty consistent now that I think about it. Like it definitely is very consistent when it comes down to pretty much everything we've heard from Lucha. They've always had like a very acousticy kind of style, right? Especially when it comes to their vocals, very raw, very honest, very like in your face. So I do feel like this mix was like very appropriate for like what this track is. You know what I mean? It definitely has this like honest, raw kind of feel to it. I mean, you could always improve a vocal mix for almost any track, right? But when it comes to this one, I definitely feel like it matches like the acoustic kind of vibe here. So you definitely get the feels from like both worlds, you know? Um, but yeah, vocal mix definitely solid for what it is. Again, vocal Shining Star. I mean, it's got to be the hook. Like, it's got to be the hook. I feel like the hook is something that, you know, almost anybody can resonate with. I found, you know, no matter like, even if there is like a language barrier or you're listening to tracks that like, you know, are Spanish or tracks in German or tracks in quite literally any other language but English, I feel like the one thing that everybody can relate to and like really enjoy is the hook. You know what I mean? Like everybody loves a good hook, right? Everybody loves that cadence. Everybody loves like a good melody. So for me, that's kind of like what I got here was at least you could like wrap around to the hook and always enjoy that. You know what I mean? I like even like a lot of the non-English tracks that I personally enjoy, the hook is always like one of my favorite parts anyway. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just one of those kind of things that like is so easy to enjoy regardless, you know? So definitely the hook, no doubt. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I spoke a little bit about this cover when we spoke about Carousel and one other track, but this is one where I feel like this one describes Lucha so fucking well, bro. Like for some reason, when you hear their tracks and then you see this, it just all adds up. Like they have a perfect aesthetic for like what kind of sounds they make. You know what I mean? But even deeper than that, for an EP, not only does this clear, but I think what's really cool is, again, I always talk about this when it comes to Lucha, their consistency with covers and like how they kind of switch it up but also keep it the same is fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, you're always going to associate these types of covers with Lucha now. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that I've always loved, is that they have a very consistent cover and art style that I think fits them really well. I mean, the yellows are great. But this one in particular, very solid. Very solid. It does have that like acoustic kind of feel too, doesn't it? It definitely does. But project worthy nonetheless. Definitely project worthy. Overall theme. So again, I could only dissect this so far, right? But when it comes down to it, it definitely gave me that feel of like a love ballad-esque kind of feel to it. It was definitely more on the emotional side. You know what I mean? It was definitely more on the emotional side, no doubt. So that's where I was just like, I see what we got going on here. So, yeah. Yeah, well done, my friend. Well done. So with that said, huge shout out to Lucha Libra. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Lucha on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Lucha on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 210. Go show them some love in the bird out, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Let's go. If you want inspiration, listen to Black Country New Road. We'll give you ideas to further expand the instrumental. Not to be basic either, but like Radiohead, the same thing. Yeah. No, right. Those are some really great shouts, to be honest with you. I mean, you could grab inspiration from any one of those, or really anywhere, you know. But those are some like really solid shouts. I agree. Totally agree. No question, my friend. All right. So, left off with homie Lucha Libro. Up next, we got the homie Pez, who's actually in chat right now. Now, it's been a couple weeks or months since we heard from the homie Pez, man. But a very, very talented producer submitted Vanguard. Let's see what we got here. By Protect the Peasant, the homie Pez. Okay. The production duo composed of Pez and Vinny Sense. Okay. So, Protect the Peasants duo. But they submitted a track titled Vanguard. I like this title a lot. This is going to be gas. I'm very interested to see what Pez has been up to, man. So, let's get into it. Pez, Protect the Peasants, Vanguard. Let's go. No way. What the fuck? Oh no. Oh shit.
live coming soon.
Okay, the vocal sample was used so well. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Vinny in the chat. Let's get it, Vinny. Welcome on in, my friend. Happy Monday. Let's go. Thanks, thanks for listening. Of course. Thank you for the submission, my friends. Let's fucking get it. Let's go. All right. So, wow. Okay. The vocal sample is just, I can't even believe how well it's utilized. It's like, I was just talking about this tonight, actually, right? I was just talking about how you can like overuse those vocal samples and like the whole song kind of ends up being sampled and it's like, oh shit. This one is like used to its max potential up to the point to where it's not too repetitive. Like it's used just enough and it comes in at the right times. It goes out at the right times. I remember saying this the last time about the Peasants, and Pez is like, you know, like the structure is just fucking crazy. Like it's so well done that if you're gonna release instrumental tracks, this is the way to do it. This is 100% the way to do it. So lots to talk about here. Let's break it down. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about two things because obviously no vocals. We're gonna talk about the instrumental and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Vanguard. So, let's talk instrumental. I mean, the mix, bro, the mix is fantastic. I mean, especially with all the switch ups and the beat switches and the drops and sound selection. I have no gripes with this mix whatsoever. You know, I remember again saying that about Pez the last time, and just as good. I mean, absolutely no gripes here. Drums were solid, sound selection was solid, everything cut through nicely. Like I said, even the beat switch ups are really well done. Like everything transitions well. Nothing that I would really change on this, to be honest with you. Like, definitely not. I mean, it's such an enjoyable listen, like especially when it comes to like the drums, that it's just like it's kind of like perfect, you know. I spend like 6-7 and like it shows though. Like even Pez just said in chat, I spend like 6-7 hours a day mixing. Everything is done by me and Vinny though. Right. Huge shout out to Vinny too, of course. But yeah, like it shows though. You know what I mean? Like it really shows. Like the mix is so, it's not anything like crazy, like groundbreaking, but it's so tight and so crisp, and like that's the way you want it. You know what I mean? That's the way you want it right there. And I have no gripes with this mix whatsoever at all. Like whatsoever. So instrumental mix, very solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I mean, it would kind of be so unfair to pick anything other than structure. Right? I feel like the drums were fucking crazy for sure. The vocal sample was definitely up there. The vocal sample is like one of my favorite parts actually. But the drums, man. See, because the drums are really, really crazy, but the structure is like the meat of the song. Like it makes the whole thing from A to B very enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. So the structure for me, I think clears here. You know, the transitions, the beat switch ups, the intro, outro, the vocals. You like the structure. It's got to be the structure, no doubt. So instrumental solid. Definitely the structure for sure. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Protected Peasants has one of the coolest aesthetics that I've seen out of any group or duo, because it's not anything like super defined, but it always has this like old school textbook kind of feel to it, right? Like you're reading like one of those like 17th century novels and shit like that. And obviously that's the direction that they wanted to go in. But even down to like their profile picture and like their Bandcamp page, and you know, you could take a look down at their Discog and it's very, very similar. Like I feel like again, a consistent art style that is kind of surrounding your name is also very fucking solid. You know what I mean? So this aesthetic in particular, fantastic, especially for a single, right? I mean, I feel like the single is like really like on point. And this is one where it's eye grabbing, but it's not doing too much, right? So perfect for a single and does its job, you know? New single cover by me, new single cover by Vinny. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. I love that. I love that. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, Vanguard, I mean, I would say the theme is realistically in the track itself, and like you could kind of like take the theme from the aesthetics as well, right? I mean, like the Bandcamp page, the cover, like you could also kind of build off the theme there. But when it comes to production, I mean, you have so much more, not more, I would say, but you have a different kind of way of showing your themes, right? Because producers who put out tracks like this and like really want to put out like full tracks that they can like actually promote and aren't like, they're not type beats, you're not trying to get placements. This is like by producers, for listeners, right? So this is the type of shit that I want to see producers do more often when it comes down to like building their platform, building their brand, and like people forget that like people put on instrumental playlists all day. Like producers should be putting out projects and collabs and shit for people to listen to, not to buy. You know what I mean? Because you're an artist too. So when you do shit like this, you're helping yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're only helping yourself. And there are tons of people that listen to instrumentals. So it's worth putting a theme and an idea and an aesthetic behind some of these projects, right? And behind some of these singles and collabs and things like that. So theme is important. And I feel like you can get the right idea from Protect the Peasants for sure. No doubt. No doubt. So with that said, huge shout out to Protect the Peasants and Vinny and Pez. Thank you so much for your submission. Make sure you go follow them on Bandcamp. And of course, make sure you go follow Pez on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 410. So go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. If you already have, thank you. For previous covers, he helped us develop our visual aesthetic. Yeah, I feel like you guys, like, as soon as you had the idea, you fucking ran with it. So huge shout out to them on YouTube for sure. Definitely huge shout out to them. My thing is, nobody's going to listen to the same old shit they're going to hear from someone else. Right, exactly. Nah, for sure. Like, totally, like, do what the heart wants. You know what I mean? Like, definitely do what the heart wants. 100%. Like, if you're proud of it and you'd listen to it, 9 times out of 10, somebody else would listen to it. You know what I mean? Definitely. So no matter like how outlandish it is or how basic it is, if you're like passionate about it, just put that shit out. You know what I mean? For sure. Yeah, definitely. I agree. That's a fucking great duo right there. That's a great duo right there. So again, huge shout out to Pez, man. But up next we got the homie Onwuka. Now this will be very interesting. Onwuka, a very talented hip hop artist, submitted Halloween Freakin'. Time to get to Halloween Freakin'. Just played this at a show last night. Insomniac had the idea a couple of years back to do a Halloween banger. Tried to go off the flows, referencing my Dark Mage, a bunch of cool Halloween bars. Oh shit. I've been combining genres as well. Hyperpop and trap shit. Yeah, no, exactly. Like the combination of the genres before we get into this is fantastic. That's something that's like very, very fucking underrated. Absolutely fantastic. And huge shout out to you, Vinny. Thank you so much for showing up to the stream, my friend. Let's fucking get it. But yes, Onwuka, back with another darker fall Halloween-esque kind of track, man. So let's get into it, man. Halloween Freakin'. Now, like Onwuka said, they just recently performed this at a show. Insomniac had the idea a couple years back to do a Halloween banger. Tried to go off on the flows, referencing my track of Dark Mage and a bunch of cool Halloween bars. Now, I'm very excited to see how Onwuka did with this. I'm very, very excited for this. Hope y'all enjoy it. Perfect time to share. Absolutely perfect time to share. We got Halloween this Thursday, my friends. Halloween is in what, 4 days, if that? No, 3 days, I think. So let's get into it. Insomniac, Onwuka, Halloween Freakin'. Let's go. Oh shit.
Street. I'm a reckless player like Mr. P. Going in like a bobby pin that forms a little key. Locking in like I miss a seek for a dark mystical seek. Which with the artist's minds, brain on point, see a miss a frizzle geek. Now we stroll these misty shifty streets on this Hallow's Eve, Make a quick right like Apollo Creed. Dark demonic forces start to follow me. Not harmed by the gaze that didn't acknowledge thee. Dark mage finna spark and blaze like lead. Cut the blaze some fire, we stay lit like a jack-o'-lantern on Halloween. Craziest night you've ever seen. All the freaks come out on Halloween. Call me heartless monster to save my soul is Halloween. So baby, it's time for you all to scream. Halloween freaking on the scene. All the freaks come out of Halloween. Call me heartless monster to save my soul is Halloween. So baby, it's time for you all to scream. Hollywood freaking like a scary girl, below transform same as a werewolf. Probably see me creeping like a mummy pharaoh, cooking like a witch brew, eyes in a bone marrow, hallucinating when the can slay it. Pull your card like tarot. They finna fear my
That was crazy.
with a scarecrow, sipping beers with goblins, putting some up in the air with ghosts, like a vampire being a coffin. See me posted up in a suit and I play your post. They do the monster mash cheers, I walk and you know what's time to share a toast. Grim Reaper the even, I pierce the automatic, the freaks is out like to declare itself. Craziest night you've ever seen. All the freaks come out on Halloween. Call me heartless monster to save my soul is Halloween. So baby, it's time for you all to scream. Halloween freaking on the scene. All the freaks come out of Halloween. Call me heartless monster to save my soul is Halloween. So baby, it's time for you all to scream.
Love the flow. I agree. Yeah, man, that's everything I wanted it to be and more, to be honest with you. Like, shit. Second verse intro, kind of the hardest part. Yeah, like, you went crazy on that. And, like, it wasn't too, like, over the top Halloween. I feel like when people, like, want to make Halloween tracks, they just, like, go full-blown, like, Michael Myers, Halloween, Jack-o'-lantern, Halloween. Like, this was very specific. And, like, it felt like an honest Halloween track. It, like, not everything about this was, like, deep-fried Halloween, you know? It was a fun kind of Halloween track. And I could imagine this went crazy live, too. Like, seeing this live would probably be so fun. Seeing this live would definitely be fun as shit. But let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we are going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Halloween Freakin'. So, instrumental. So we got the homie Insomniac on production. I mean, Insomniac is a producer that we've pretty much reacted to just as much as anyone here on the show. But this one in particular, I felt like definitely had that perfect Halloween kind of energy to it. A lot of the smaller stuff kind of shined here too, like a lot of the screams and a lot of the effects and just small shit throughout the instrumental that really like gave it that Halloween boost. But as far as the mix goes, again, no real gripes, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that really like nothing that really threw me off at all. Drums were solid, sound selection was solid. Again, a lot of the smaller effects were cool. So as far as the instrumental itself goes, definitely solid. Definitely solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, the melody was kind of interesting. But I do like the structure, and the drums were up there too. You know, probably the melody. I feel like the melody gave it that energy that it needed, and then everything else just kind of follows it up. So I do feel like the melody was like a very crucial part of this. Let's go melody. Definitely melody. I know Cron player take on Halloween about to go out. Yeah, definitely. That's sick. That is sick. They left the screaming. See, for the live performance, leaving the screaming was the play. That's definitely the play. I like that a lot. Yeah, man. This was like, it had all the elements, you know? It definitely had the recipe. So, instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, Onwuka has one of the most consistent mixes of any artist here on Music Mondays or even in the community. Whether they're older tracks, newer tracks, Onwuka has a very consistent mix. Again, they have a very natural, like raw hip hop voice, so you don't really need too much post processing, not too many effects or anything like that. So you're gonna get like a clean, crisp, clear mix from Onwuka 99% of the time, right? Because even though this track came out in 2022, you could play any track from 2024 and it's still gonna have the same consistent mix. Onwuka is a very consistent artist when it comes to her mix. That's one thing you always want to point out for anybody new here, but not really a shocker for us here at Music Mondays, right? But again, something you always want to point out for anybody new. So, very consistent mix. Vocal Shining Star. Vocal Shining Star. I mean, what? You have flow and cadence, which was very solid. Writing, which was really, really solid because it wasn't like super crazy Halloween writing. It was a good mix of like scary, Halloween, horror, dark-esque kind of feel to it. So definitely writing's up there. Flow and cadence is up there. I do like the hook. I feel like the hook is definitely up there. It might be the hook, to be honest with you. Now that I'm really thinking about it, it might be the hook. I really do feel like the hook was fucking crazy here. But their writing throughout the whole track was also really solid. I mean, you could really make an argument for any one of those. You really could. Let's go with the hook. Just because I do feel like the hook was really well performed and delivered and well written, but also it has that like catchy kind of flavor to it that like you hear this and you're instantly going to think of Halloween. Not only because of the title, but because of how well Insomniac and Onwuka kind of curated these like darker Halloween kind of vibes, So definitely hook for me. Instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. I mean, like what? Come on, bro. Like this cover is actually fucking fire. Like actually fucking fire. Like aesthetics are absolutely on point here. It not only has like the same art style as Onwuka and Insomniac and like what they've kind of dove into over their, several drops and things like that, but this one hits like the nail on the head as far as like making the pumpkin with speakers like the centerpiece, right? And then the castle in the background, and then the ghosts, and then the crosses, and then the dead tree, and then some bats in the top. Like, the more you look at this, the better it gets. But then you have Halloween freaking text at the bottom left. So I do feel like this kind of capped it off for like a really good single Halloween cover. I love the color palette. I love the colors. This is one where I feel like this cleared for a cover. This is a no-brainer cover. I like this aesthetic a lot. Simple, straight to the point, but not too like overly Halloween, Gotta take the sample from. Oh yeah, definitely. And I feel like it worked. Though for the hook. It definitely worked. For sure it did. On a different artist for this one. Remind me of kind of vintage shop style. Yeah. I feel like they killed it. They absolutely killed it. And to be honest, it almost matches the other style as well. You know what I mean? So well done. Aesthetics definitely on point. So aesthetics on point. Let's talk theme. I mean, Halloween Freakin' is pretty much in the theme. Onwuka lays it down for us pretty well here. Following playing this at a show, Insomniac had the idea a couple years back to do a Halloween banger. Tried to go off in the flows, referencing my dark track, A Dark Mage, and a bunch of cool Halloween bars. I mean, even like the Hallows Eve bars and like just making a fun Halloween track that wasn't like overly Halloween, I feel like was fantastic here. And if anybody was going to do it, it was Onwuka. Because Onwuka, again, for those of you that have been around Music Mondays for quite some time, Onwuka has a very special skill and talent for writing about specific themes. They can really write their ass off about anything that they want. This is one where I feel like it showed because it's not overly like Halloween. It's not like oozing Halloween shit. It's like got that right amount of spooky Halloween vibes, but it's still very much like Onwuka. It was almost like mixing Onwuka and Halloween. And this is what you get. You know what I mean? So well done. Well done, my friend. So with that said, huge shout out to Insomniac and Onwuka. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, my friends. And of course, make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They are 20 followers away from 800. So go get them that wonderful milestone, man. 800 is a great milestone. Go show Onwuka some love, baby. And of course, every art's featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, eh? Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's go. So, well done. Holy shit. Huge shout out to Onwuka, man. That was, wow. Okay. Fuck. We're getting the Halloween tracks, we're getting the instrumentals, we're getting the collabs, we're getting the unreleased, man. Tonight's show is already fucking heating up, man. Holy shit. Alrighty, my friends, you guys know the drill. We are about at the halfway point of the show. So, you know what that means. Time to get up, go get a break, go get a drink, go walk the dog, go to the bathroom, go get a smoke break, go do whatever you need to do. So, with that said, Music Mondays is going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, we're going to dive right back into the rest of our community submissions. Do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 197. I hope your break went well, but let's dive right back into our community submissions. Let's get into it. So, let's see here. We left off with the homie on Wuka. Up next is the homie Offspring Mysterious, a multi-talented creative, editor, producer, designer, engineer, writer, quite literally all of the above. Offspring Mysterious is here with another Walking Onslaughts upload. Let's see here. Transformation. And Offspring's caption, I can transform ya. Well, shit, Offspring. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. Alright. So let's go 720. Full volume. Let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious. Transformation. Let's go. Banger, Offspring. I love that. The beat drop. No way. Oh. Oh shit. A text? Hey, I think Runaway's gonna save you from this ass whooping. I knew you're the drunk guy of the world, but since the next guy, okay, Slack, run to the rematch, stop hiding, I'll come look for you. Huh. Well. Shit. Interesting. Huh. What a crazy outro. Wait, so this was fire because I feel like this is a great follow up to the last episode. The last episode was like very much like action filled almost, or kind of like more of like lore centered, and it had like a lot of story elements that were important. This was like not filler, but it was like the background of like what Offspring had going on. You know what I mean? So it's definitely like really a great addition. Like to have like a more slower go back and train kind of episode after the loss. I thought this was smart. See, that's kind of like what I was speaking about last week. Is Offspring really has the writing down for this kind of content. This is great. This is absolutely fucking great because now we're invested. Now we're absolutely invested. Now we absolutely have to see what happens here. We absolutely have to see what happens here. So, well done. Well fucking done, my friend. Um, Shining Star. I do love the edits here and a lot of the post processing. That was fantastic. So the training segment was a big highlight here. I feel like this training segment was really, really awesome. I feel like Offspring did a really good job with this. I would say the ending segment too. I mean, like the writing in general has always been like really solid lately. Like I kind of want to go writing, or I kind of want to go the editing. Because the writing again was fantastic. I just thought this was a great follow up episode to this. So let's go writing. Let's go writing. Just because Offspring's really writing a great story here and really following it up with like consistent uploads and like edits where we're actually getting the story here. It's like holy shit. So Offspring's come so far, man. Offspring's come so fucking far, but the story that we have going on right now is by far some real peak shit. Real peak shit. So Shining Star, definitely the writing, but the editing is like a very close second, you know. So well done, my friend. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring of Sirius. Make sure you go sub to their channel on YouTube. They're 7 subs away from 230. So go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring of Sirius on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 910. So go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. If you already have, thank you for showing some support to the Music Mondays YouTube channel. I see you guys dropping links, dropping comments, all that good jazz. Much love, baby. Let's get it. So, up next, we got the homie Hi Braden, aka Braden. Now, Braden's had a stellar 2023 heading into 2024. They've also upped their quality. They've been kind of diving into newer styles. This is a very, very talented multi-genre artist, but they submitted a track titled Adventure Time. I heart Music Mondays. We heart Braden. Let's fucking get it, Braden. Much love, my friend. All right, let's go. Let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got here from the homie. I am down. Okay, brand new 2024 Braden Adventure Time. Let's get into it.
Marceline, that's too distasteful. Oh, you don't like that?
Bad bitch in the night like a vampire. Said you tryna fuck with me, but you a damn liar. Tryna beg, bitch, you singing to the damn choir. Bitch, I'm smoking woods in the woods with a campfire. Adventure time with my bro like Finn and Jake. Met a bad bitch named Fiona, and you know that bitch got cake. Bitch, gonna know the blunt up, then I'm finna get baked. I was quiet, now I'm balling down the fucking hallway. Man, this rap shit easy, that is what they all say. Know I got a lot of money, these places ain't all safe. Had to drop a couple people in my life, they all fake. Know they make me move different, and I know they all snakes. I got eyes on me like Simon. I got more than the Ice King. I look right at my bezel, that shit got perfect time.
Oh my.
I'm climbing, I fuck with fine dining. My viewers start inclining, these bitches start co-signing. That bitch in the night.
What the fuck?
Said you tryna fuck with me, but you a damn. Tryna beg, bitch, you singing to the damn choir. Bitch, I'm smoking woods in the woods with a campfire. Adventure time with my bro like Finn and Jake. Met a bad bitch named Fiona, and you know that bitch got cake. Bitch, gonna know the blunt up, then I'm finna get baked. I was quiet, now I'm balling down the fucking hallway.
Let's go, man. What a fucking... That was crazy. This has got to be one of Braden's best tracks of 2024, no doubt. No doubt. The flow on this is crazy. The writing on this is crazy. Well fucking done, my friend. Well done. Holy shit. Oh, man. I was not expecting that. I mean, I was expecting Braden to kill it per usual, right? But this is just... What the fuck? Like, holy shit. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we're going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Adventure Time. So, all right. Let's talk instrumental. I love the choice. Braden's kind of been leading into this like jerk, drill, fast-paced trap kind of style, right? And, you know, they've been kind of very selective with their instrumentals and really diving into this like sort of style, and I feel like it's worked out so well for them. Like, they really do an awesome job with these. So I love the choice off rip, but mix is great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this at all. I feel like this prod definitely did a really good job. I love the drums, sound selection, melody does its thing. Vocals sit nice. Yeah, no gripes with this at all. So the instrumental makes absolutely fantastic. Instrumental shining star. It's got to be the drums. The drums. It's just the drums. 100% the drums. The drums just keep up the pace. Fast pace. It's high energy. It's high octane. Gave the ability for Braden to kind of come in and flow like he could. Yeah, definitely the drums. Melody's a close second, but the drums clear on this. I really like the drums a lot. Okay. Instrumental solid. Definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, also fantastic. Braden's had a very consistent mix for the last like year or so, to be honest with you. Like, a lot of their recent projects and the recent drops have been mixed to a T for their vocals. Like, I really enjoy their vocals on 99% of the tracks that they have here, right? I mean, Braden's always had a really consistent mix. I can't really sit here and say I'm shocked. But that's something I always want to point out for everybody new here, is this is definitely one with a very consistent mix. So, mix is solid. Again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice on the instrumental. Definitely nothing I would change here either. So, definitely a solid vocal mix. A vocal shining star. I love the writing. I really love the writing, to be honest with you. But the flow and cadence and delivery really brings us to a new level. You know what I mean? Like, really brings us to a new level. So, I kind of like both a lot though. That's what's tough here is like the writing is super solid because the bars and the wordplay and the lyrics are just it's adventure time, you know, it's really well written, but the flow and cadence and delivery just really ramp up the energy here. So for me, definitely flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, Braden coming in with another blue kind of style here, but I'd like this like IRL pool X skate park kind of picture, right? And I feel like this is a really solid single cover. I like this direction of like using these IRL pictures. You know, you don't have to do it all the time or anything like that, but it's a good like it's a good substitution if you don't really want to go too crazy with some artwork. You know what I mean? But this one in particular, very solid, and I love how they kept up the blue kind of scheme here, right? I feel like this is also a really solid direction. So, aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, Adventure Time. I mean, it's definitely got like it's chock full of Adventure Time bars, 100% full of Adventure Time bars. But this is one definitely where you want to take into consideration Braden's writing and lyricism in general. You definitely want to run this one back, especially if like you enjoy the high energy. This is the one where you're gonna like find new bars each listen, right? Because Braden's just like coming at you really fast on this, so you're bound to miss something. But when it comes to an overall theme, it's definitely one where you gotta appreciate the writing skill and you know, really kind of break down what Braden's trying to say here. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Braden. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Braden on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Braden on Twitter. They are literally go juice their Twitter, man. We are their only follower, man. I think they got locked out of their old account or something like that. But go show Braden some love on Twitter, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching quite literally 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. Show love to Music Mondays, my friends. Let's fucking go. Okay, so we left off with the homie Braden. Let's see here. Up next, we have it would be the homie Jordan and it would be the homie Laverius, but these two are Music Mondays Patrons, and we already reacted to their submissions earlier in the stream. These are actually our first 2 submissions, so make sure you go show our Patrons some love and go check out the beginning of the show to go see what they came up with in this episode. Huge shout out to Jordan and Laverius, and of course the rest of our Patreon crew, King Mark, Ryuki, Kruger. All you guys are fucking amazing. Thank you, my friends. Well, let's fucking go. So, up next, we have the homie I Say. I Say is back with the homie Sean. Last week, their submission was fucking crazy. A multi-genre, super talented artist, I Say, with their homie Sean, submitted Luna Solace. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. All right. So it looks like we have either a third feature or a second feature, I should say, or the producer's getting a little bit of credit here. I love that. So let's get into it. I Say, Luna Solace. Let's go. Crazy ass instrumental.
The richer getting richer, the poor is getting poor. If that's how you score, you really do adore. You're walking at the York, but you can't feature York. Walking there like New York, walking there like New York. Yo, MJ, like SO said, a festival. Like MJ said, a festival. Like MJ said, festival. Like MJ said, you a festival. Like MJ said, a festival. Like MJ said, festival. Like MJ said. Ooh, gives me, make me stronger. Lightning in the thunder. I feel like I'm a monster, but this is for a thunder. Lightning in the thunder. It feels like I'm a monster, but this is for a thunder. Ooh.
Coming with this thunder like I'm Undertaker. To BB, yeah, I don't know which one is faker. The way I get this bread like I'm a fucking baker. Businessman, they know I'm a money maker, but they also know I'm a fucking heartbreaker. Call her babe, I don't talk talk about no game shaker. I like my peace, shoot them like a peacekeeper. I like my peace, shoot them like a peacekeeper. Anti-social shy boy, quiet boy, I'm still the king. Anti-social shy boy, quiet boy, I'm still the king. Anti-social shy boy, quiet boy, I'm still the king. Anti-social shy boy, quiet boy, I'm still the king. They know I'm so high, shy guy, I'm still so fly. Look at the sky, says an eye. She wanna fuck, she wanna apply. Now I tell her goodbye. Now she wanna cry. Look at my eyes.
Wow. Huh. That is a crazy fucking instrumental. Well done, my friends. Well done. I mean, it's really an extension from last week, bro. Like, these are two artists that have the ability to literally ride anything. They can hop on any style of instrumental and really push their vocal styles as well. Like, this is another one where you would never expect them to hop on this, you know? Well, I mean, now you would because they're so, heavily ingrained in, like, different styles, right? But just off the rip, this is, like, a very bold kind of instrumental. And, like, not a lot of artists could, like, see the vision on this, but they did. So I like this a lot. Well done. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. We are going to talk about quite literally two things. Or no, three things. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Luna Solace. So, let's see here. So let's talk instrumental. I mean, off rip, again, crazy instrumental choice, like a really, really crazy instrumental choice, but not really shocking for them, right, in particular, because it's one of those things where I kind of expect this of them now. They really do a good job kind of breaking through their ceiling and kind of pushing themselves to, like, try new shit. So I love the choice. I absolutely love the choice. But the mix is very solid. Very, very solid. This producer did a fantastic job with this. Sound selection's great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals definitely sit nice. Nothing that I would ultimately change on this, especially for such a drum and bass kind of heavy track. It's definitely mixing a few genres, but the fact that it's mostly drum and bass is like, you really got to make sure that everything's hitting properly and make sure that your mix is, like, really, really solid. So, with that said, the instrumental mix is fantastic. Nothing clashing to overbearing, like I said, so no gripes there at all. Instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Might be the structure. I mean, I do like the drums here a lot. I definitely like the drums a lot, but the structure and the way that everything comes in and goes out is really fucking solid. So I'm kind of big on this structure here, if I'm being real with you. So, definitely instrumental structure for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, again, fantastic. I say and Sean are two artists that have really solid, consistent mixes, even though their styles can vary from instrumental to instrumental, right? And they can really do whatever they want. But again, as far as this mix goes, I'm not really shocked. It's very solid, Again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing I would, like, ultimately change on this at all. I'm pretty big on their mix, and like, they seem to be very consistent with it when it comes to any type of style. So vocal mix definitely very solid. Very, very solid. So vocal mix solid. Let's talk vocal shining star. Okay. So it could be writing, right? But I'm kind of leaning towards flow and cadence and delivery as well. I feel like flow and cadence and delivery is a real big one here. So, yeah, let's go flow and cadence and delivery. Writing's a close second, but the flow and cadence and delivery was like insane for an instrumental like this. So they both did a really, really good job with that. Okay. Instrumental shining star, definitely the drums. Vocal shining star, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Let's see here. So, I mean, this one definitely has an insane color palette, especially for a track titled Luna Solace. Like, I feel like this one definitely has that like space, Luna, moon kind of feel to it. But the color palette is crazy. The pink, the blacks, a little bit of blue up top. I feel like this one's insane. They always have the most interesting abstract cover art, and it always goes so well. But I really like this one a lot. I mean, they've been killing their art lately. They've been killing it all around lately. But this art definitely goes really well with this. 100%. Clear as first single. Absolutely. So, aesthetics pretty much on point. Overall theme, Luna Solace. I mean, this is definitely one where I feel like they came up with, this track idea, but it's really more of like a showcase of their skill and talents, right? I mean, they both kind of wrote about multiple topics, so I wouldn't really dive in too much and like look for like a super secret theme here. This is definitely one where you want to appreciate the writing and lyrical ability of these two for sure. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to Sean, I say, and this prod. You guys did awesome. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course make sure you go follow I say on Twitter. They are approaching 1.2k on the Bird app, so make sure you go show them some love over there on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. If you already have, thank you, thank you. Thank you for showing Music Mondays some love and showing the YouTube channel some love. I see you guys dropping comments, dropping likes, all that good jazz. So thank you, thank you, thank you for showing love over there. Well, let's get it, baby. So, we left off with the homie I say. Up next is the homie Sin, aka Survival in Negativity. Let's fucking go. A very talented hip hop artist, Sin, submitted Dead Luggage, 2013 or 2014. Dead Luggage, a badly mixed throwback from around 2013 or 2014 when my mic was having issues. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for listening. Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy that this is the caption because I always talk about Survival having a crazy mix, even for some of their way older tracks. So I'm kind of curious to see what their perception of a bad mix of their vocals is, because they've had crazy consistent vocals. So I'm very interested. Let's get into it. Sin, Dead Language. Let's go.
Yo, with the last bit of ink in my pen, I pit divinity against the most vivid visions of living in infinity. Finicky soul search, soul symmetry into my path to add passion to mass hope. Energy blasting solar imagery into the minds of thinkers who see it the way I wrote it and induce a higher inkling of the way it is, along with the way it's supposed to be. As opposed to high science and praying to rosary debates. Notably, all I oversee is mind knowingly. Still haven't grasped it, haven't mastered the poetry yet. The power of words, the power of voice. Trying to figure, is it the power deserved, the power of choice? Devour the verbs and spit action. The minimal task is still building on that which will happen in given time. Given divine intervention, telling me what I rhyme, intertwine with ascensions of holy lands. I hold the hands of the future while teaching them not to underestimate before they overstand. Zoning, a flock of crows hovered over Lombard Street. They can't help but be symbolic in the meaning depth. Knows where it needs to be way before the bodies ever hit the cement. Reoccurs like a melody repeated. I've never been the deepest, but I know if my thoughts were worth the weight in water, my oceans would never be depleted. I seen it, scenic history, flashback memories. The kings on thrones who had the same skin as me. Strange imagery by today's standards. Placed invisible ace bandages on our souls for the slave misery. Thinking that we forget I'm King Tutton, the Tubba Diamonds. Nas's I am cover, rocking the hoodie from Nostradamus. Mummified to regenerate like Osiris does. Peel back the seal, saw the father bless my flesh with the Midas touch. I abduct, program minds, then I adjust. All errors left by Wall Street terrorists, tie them up and torture them with the truth till they notice all false prophets hiding behind designer suits, promising fruits of our hard labor. All wasted, God save us, lost children, lost faith, God take us. Heaven
Oh my god. And it just keeps going. And it just keeps going, man. Holy shit. Yeah, so I definitely see what Sin meant by like quality, right? I mean, it's definitely got that like open mic kind of like wrong setting kind of thing, right? Like it's not condensed, it just sounds like an open mic, you know what I mean? So it's definitely one of those like weird mic issues for sure, but this one was great. This one was fucking great. I have a couple things to say about this, so let's break it down, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Dead Languages. So, instrumental. Okay. So this is from so it's from Aljuana and okay. From the Alchemy EP. I see. All right. So this is kind of like a remix almost, but it kind of reminds me of the Stream series that Sin does as well. It kind of reminds me of like a couple things. You know what I mean? So um let's see here. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. Instrumental mix is fantastic. I mean, obviously with the mic and recording issues aside, I feel like it is solid. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing, nothing that I thought threw off the instrumental too much at all. Even for what the vocals were, they sat nice, right? So for where the instrumental mix is at, definitely solid. Definitely solid. I mean, we're talking like 2013 here, you know what I mean? So it's like fuck. Um, yeah. Yeah, so for where it is, I like it. Solid. Nothing I would like really ultimately super switch on this at all. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I mean, it's got to be the melody, right? I mean, it sounds like on the melody's crazy. It's got to be the melody for sure. The melody's insane. Drums are a close second, but the melody, yeah, definitely the melody. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. I mean, obviously a kind of a rare off vocal mix from the homie Sin, but nothing that wasn't fixed later on, right? Especially for something from 2013. I feel like this is what everything should sound like, right? If you were recording back in the day, but I say back in the day, it's not even that long ago. But you know, this sounds like just anyone's early work, you know? It doesn't sound that like off-putting at all, you know what I mean? It's still Sin at its heart, you know? So that's what I like about these kind of rare tracks is gives you like an insider look on where artists, you know, came from and like where they really kind of you know, ended off at and like where they are now. You know what I mean? So it's always a crazy blast from the past, but vocal mix for where it's at is solid. Obviously, mic issues aside. Um, so vocal mix solid. A vocal shining star, flow and cadence and delivery 100%. The bars here were really crazy too. Like I feel like the writing was very underrated. Like I feel like you could skip over that just because of the mic issues, right? And you wouldn't really be paying attention. But for me, the writing was definitely a close second. But I think the thing that really made you lock into this track was definitely the flow and cadence and delivery, no doubt. Um, so flow and cadence and delivery for sure. No instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Dead languages. I mean, you definitely have like the hieroglyphics here, and like, you know, obviously like other old school style languages that just like aren't existing anymore. So it's kind of like a no-brainer cover, right? I mean, super simple but super meaningful and like really aesthetically pleasing. So for a single like this, very solid, 100%. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, I wouldn't look too deep into a theme like this. Definitely one where you gotta appreciate the writing and the lyrical ability from Sin. It's definitely one where it almost felt like a writing exercise for them as well. Especially being such a throwback track. This is one where you just gotta enjoy and really listen to Sin speak here and just enjoy the writing 100%. So, with that said, huge shout out to Sin. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Sin on SoundCloud. Sin is approaching 300 followers. They are 10 away, man. Go show Sin some love on the cloud. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you go follow Sin on Twitter as well. There are 13 followers away from 500. 2 double milestones on this. What? 2 great milestones incoming, man. 500 on Twitter, 300 on SoundCloud. Go show Sin some love, man. Let's fucking go. On the way. And per usual, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. And if you already have, thank you for showing love to the Music Mondays YouTube channel. Much love, my friends. You guys are fucking amazing. See you guys dropping likes, dropping comments. Even if you're just viewing the videos, we appreciate it here at Music Mondays, my friends. Thank you. So, we left off with the homie Sin. Up next is the homie Saint Zero. It's been a while since we heard from Saint Zero, a multi-genre talented artist. He made a track titled I'm in Love, Don't Look Deeper Into It. Oh shit. Okay, say less. Say less. It's been a while since we heard from Saint Zero, so let's go see what they have been up to. I'm down, my friends. Let's get into it. I'm in Love, Don't Look Deeper Into It. Fire ass song title. We love that. All right. This is from their project Avocado or How to Fall in Love with a Computer. Wow, okay. Holy shit. 9 tracks deep. Okay. August 19th. Let's see here. So this is track 4 of this 9-track project. Let's get into it.
1, 2, 3.
Banger. Okay.
Obsessed with your sound. Every time you pick up the phone, the air would get thick and my heart made you numb. If I knew how I felt, I would say, please don't leave me alone. Since I saw you walking on afternoon, oh, I've been falling for you since I could say I'm in love your way.
Fantastic. Sometimes I wonder, I'm just enough. Would I be the one for you forever? Or would you reject me? Forget me. I've been falling all for you ever since I saw you walking on afternoon. Oh, I've been falling for you since I could say I'm in love your way. Okay, that will put you in a trance for sure. Like that just puts you in like the most comfortable fucking mood ever. That's a good one right there. I like that a lot. Saint Zero is one of those artists that has never shied away from diving into styles that are different or they're not used to, or just kind of diving into whatever they want to dive into, right? But this one was a great kind of relax, kick back, do some laundry, some work done, do some homework, whatever you're doing, right? This is one of those ones that really like relaxes you. So well done. I like this one a lot. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of I'm in Love, Don't Look Deeper Into It. So, um, instrumental. Instrumental mix. Fantastic. I mean, a very minimalist kind of style, right? Couple melodies, slight effects here or there, but all in all, it's one of those instrumentals that really does its job as far as emotion goes. So I really like the melodies for that a lot. But when it comes to the mix, fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this at all. Vocals sit nice. Melodies aren't too loud. Nothing that I can really think of here that's like ultimately throwing it off, you know what I mean? So very solid instrumental mix, absolutely. Instrumental shining star is definitely the structure. I love when the melodies come in and go out. I love the transitions. I love the vocal placements. Definitely the structure of this instrumental really had a big hand in the relaxation kind of factor, you know what I mean? So definitely structure for sure, but the melodies are a close second. But I love the instrumental structure, no doubt. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great. I mean, especially for this kind of acoustic style, you don't want like a crazy super post-processed mix, right? You want to try to keep it as like raw as possible, but also not too raw, right? So I feel like Saint Zero hit that like nice middle ground of like really making it like honest and emotional, but not letting like quality suffer either. You know what I mean? So vocal mix is definitely very solid on this, 100%. Vocals sit nice. Nothing's clashing again. Everything cuts through nicely. Nothing ultimately that I would change on this either. So vocal mix very solid. Let's see here. Vocal shining star. It's got to be the hook. The hook's catchy. It's comfortable. It can get caught in your head easily. It's one of those ones that, like, if this came on your playlist, you just leave it on because you're just fucking chilling, you know? So for me, definitely the hook, but the writing was a close second. Writing was great, but definitely the hook. Instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I love this. I love this almost like children's like kind of style, but not really, because it's still very like hand and like just like very honest like DIY kind of style too, as well. So it definitely has that like crispiness to it as far as like it was like done by hand, but it also has like this quality factor to it that's like very high def and like very like top quality. Like I just love this for a project, and I feel like just based off that one song alone, these are the colors that song has, no doubt. These are definitely the colors that song has. Whoever did this art did a really good job, and I just love the style of it. Project worthy, absolutely. And it definitely gives a good indication of like what the mood is like for this project and like what it potentially could be as well. You know what I mean? So either way. But aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, I'm in love, don't look deeper into it. I mean, everybody's kind of been there, right? I mean, you know, falling in love, whether it be for one reason or another, is always a very complicated kind of thing, you know, and sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, but most of the time it always is. And when it comes to like not questioning it or don't look deeper into it, that's like the easier way to go about it, because it's like sometimes love isn't really meant to be answered at the moment anyway, you know? And I feel like just going like the simple let life kind of take over kind of path is always like somewhat of a solid choice depending on everybody's situation, you know? So I feel like Saint Zero did a good job kind of tapping into like just letting their feelings kind of run out and like really putting their emotions in front and center and really putting everything on the table. You know what I mean? So it's definitely one of those tracks where I feel like everybody needs to have one of these in their library, you know, just to get your feelings out and like properly like convey it in like a healthy way, you know, because music is therapy when, you know, you kind of want to break it down in like certain ways and get like certain feelings out in a healthy way. This is one of the ways to do it, man. Absolutely one of the ways to do it. So well done, my friend. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Saint Zero. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Saint Zero on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Saint Zero on Twitter. They're approaching 2.1K on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subaroonies. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, and a whole lot of good jazz. Let's go. So, huge shout out to Saint Zero. And of course, huge shout out to everybody who's already, showing love to the Music Mondays YouTube channel and dropping likes, dropping views, all that good stuff on the videos, man. So, well fucking done. Well fucking done. So, last but not least, up next we got the homie Bags. Bags, a first-time submitting artist titled Bags. Insane name. Love that out of you, Mark. Love that out of you. But they submitted a track. Okay. Bags YT. I make tunes and stuff, question mark. All right, Bags, I see you. I see you, Bags. Let's fucking get it, bro. I'm down. I'm very down. Okay. So, first-time submitting artist Bags. Went in with... Let's see here. Did I have... I'm kind of curious. Okay, Bags, I love that. Okay. Hell yeah. All right. And, okay, so, like a couple new tracks this year. Okay. We got Happy Pill and this new track. All right, I'm down. First time submitting artist Bags. Let's get into it. Okay, Bags. Wow, I was not expecting that at all. Well done. Well done. That was fun. That was really fun. You know, tonight was so filled with like so many acoustic tracks, bro. It's just really, really crazy. Um, okay, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So I actually had to look up what an esplanade was, because I had never seen that word before, but now I learned something today, right? So that actually makes this track even better, to be honest with you. But regardless, let's get into it. Let's break it down. Fantastic submission from a first time submitting artist. So let's talk about three things here. Let's talk about the instrumental. Let's talk about vocals. Let's talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental mix, fantastic. The melody is crazy. The melody is very much front and center on here, which is like very much the meat of the song, and it's the bulk of it. And it's like very much in your face, and it's a solid mix for it, 100%. Drums are great. I like the sound selection. So not many gripes with the mix at all, to be honest with you. I feel like the instrumental mix is very solid, especially for what it is, right? So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. It might just be the melody. I mean, the drums are a close second, but the melody here is crazy. The melody here is really, really crazy. Yeah, probably the melody is the shining star. I mean, you could make an argument for drums, but for me, definitely the melody, 100%. So, instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, very interesting. I mean, because it is like this acoustic kind of alt style, you know, you definitely don't want to go too crazy with the post processing and the effects, right, and kind of take away from the charm of it and the raw emotion. So, for where these vocals are at, very solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Vocals sit nice on top of the instrumental. The instrumental was, I guess, slightly conflicting with the vocals, but that's like give or take. You know what I mean? That's kind of like a preference thing as well. So, with that said, I feel like the vocal mix is definitely solid for what this is, for sure. Vocal shining star, probably the hook. Probably the hook. I feel like the hook is not only catchy, but it's very memorable, and it kind of gives you that good, slow summer vibe, you know? Especially like heading into like winter and fall. Like I see everybody like kind of getting their summer tracks out, and this is one where it definitely give me that summer feel to it. So definitely the hook. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I love this cover. I was just taking a look at it earlier because it has the title on the guardrail there, and it has bags in the middle, right? So I feel like they did a good job with this kind of edit. Simple, straight to the point, but it adds that like personal flavor to it, especially with the bags just kind of in the middle and like the background's super animated. I love that. You know what I mean? I absolutely love that. So aesthetics absolutely on point. Overall theme, you know, perfect summer day. Really, you know, someone you love, your partner, your friend, your family, anybody kind of, you know, walking along the shore and walking along the beach and just kind of having that like perfect summer day. I feel like Bags did a really good job kind of capturing that feeling and like those once in a lifetime feelings that you don't really know until they're gone. You know, you look back on it and you're like, damn, that was amazing. You know, and I feel like Bags really, you know, captured that feeling, but also like wanting that feeling as well. You know, wanting to do those walks with people you haven't, or, you know, having the perfect day and things like that feeling of longing for it as well. I feel like that's here as well. So I don't know, man. This is one where it has a very strong summer emotional feel to it, and I think Bags did a really good job with this one. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Bags. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Bags on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Bags on Twitter. We're gonna go drop Bags a follow right now. They are 5 followers away from 15 followers. Make sure you go show them some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And of course, if you already have, thank you guys for showing some love to Music Mondays and Music Mondays YouTube channel. You guys are fucking amazing. So, let's fucking get it, chat. Let's fucking get it. With that said, that concludes episode 197 of the Music Mondays podcast. Let's close it out. Let's show some love. Let's get some shout outs. Let's talk about the upcoming week at Music Mondays and all that good jazz. Let's get into it, my friends. So, With that said, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love tonight in the chat. Let's go show chat a little bit of love right now. Huge shout out to Vinny for the follow. Welcome to the streaming family, Vinny. Much love, my friend. Huge shout out to Onwuka. Huge shout out to Pez. And anybody else that came through and lurked and chilled, man. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you for showing love to the Music Mondays podcast. You're all beautiful individuals. Thank you, my friends. So, man, all right. Let's give some shout outs to everybody that submitted tonight as well. Huge shout out to our Music Mondays Patreons, Jordan, Laveris, Kruker, King Mark, and Ryuki. You guys are fucking awesome. Much love. Huge shout out to everybody over here that submitted tonight. Sam's Raps, Lucha Libro, Pez, Onwuka, Offspring Mysterious, Braden, Jordan, Laveris, I Say, Sin, Saint Zero, Bags, and Man on Mars. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you for the love. Top 3 artists of tonight's episode will be tweeted out as soon as the show goes off the air. You guys know that, per usual. But what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so, you guys know the drill, man. Lots of content this week, wrapping up a lot of stuff for Patreon relaunch. Well, not relaunch, kind of like a refresh. Music Mondays Awards are coming up. We're approaching 200 episodes of the show. Show is doing really well submission-wise, man. We're just trying to tie it up and make sure we have a good 2025, man. So you guys know the drill. Music Mondays episode 198 will be live next week. Submissions will be live tomorrow as well. So if you're watching this live, submissions open tomorrow. If you're watching this anywhere else, submissions are already open. So make sure you go check the date and go drop your links, my friends. And of course, you can stream Music Mondays episodes anywhere you want. Anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. We have episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz. Wherever you want to go listen to the show, make sure you go do so, man. And per usual, make sure you follow Music Mondays on all social media to stay up to date. At All Music Mondays, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud. You guys know the drill, man. We're everywhere. So make sure you go show our socials some love. And of course, make sure you go visit allmusicmondays.com, man. And of course, I'm live quite literally 5-6 days a week. Speedruns, watch parties, gaming, ranting, yapping, all that good stuff, man. So I'll be live tomorrow per usual, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But follow, subscribe below. Everything linked below. All my socials are linked down below. See you guys next week for episode 198 of the Music Mondays podcast. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Zom Slave stream. Be safe. I love you all. Take care. And we'll see you next time on Music Mondays. Let's fucking go.